The stance depends on how you place your feet when facing your partner. When you stand with your left foot forward, it is called hidari gamai. With your right foot forward, migi gamai. Aihanmi is when both you and your partner use the same stance. Mai is sufficient for easy maneuverability as well as for the performance of the various techniques. Proper Mai is when your hand and that of your partner can just touch each other. Mitsuke allows the movement of your opponent to be detected in his eyes. In other words, your opponent's intentions will show up first in his eyes. To form the tegatana, or hand blade, keep your arm rigid from the elbow to the fingertips, especially from your wrist to the fingertips, in a similar manner to the chop used in karate. In order to change your body position while maintaining a stable posture, you should pay close attention to using correct hakobiashi, or footwork. Move your front foot one step forward. Before planting the front foot firmly on the ground, quickly move the back foot towards the front one. Both feet should be set firmly on the ground simultaneously. It is important to try to keep your body stable during the action. In this movement, the back foot always follows the front. For Ayumiash, let the feet alternate forward and out. The foot motion, which originates from the rear, should look like this. Mawariashi allows one to quickly change a forward stance to a back stance by rotating the body. Shiko is a form of walking that does not require a person to stand up. It uses the knees and waist as the fundamental points of motion. While kneeling, raise up on your toes, and then use your knees, hips, and toes together. Alternate forward left and right in a hanmi stance. Keep your feet together, and when rotating, stand on one knee as a pivot point while you move the other. Courtesy persistently must always be the natural behavior in Aikido. However, it must also allow you to defend yourself against a sudden attack. Let's look at an aspect of Aikido which is based on this ideology. Let's look at a number of offensive moves in Aikido. There are three types of attack when the mai between you and your opponent is relatively wide. Shomenuchi, or front strike, Yokomenuchi, or side strike, Tsuki, or punch. When the mai is narrow, your opponent may attack you in one of the following ways. Katate dori, one example is Ushiro Ryote Kubidori, both wrists grab from behind. Mae Ukemi, falling forward, Ushiro Ukemi, falling backwards, and Yoko Ukemi, falling sideways. For Mae Ukemi, swing your arm inward as if to draw a circle, and pull your chin in as you roll forward. For a Shilo Ukemi, pull your chin in, bend your knees, and round your back as you roll backwards. Ushilo Hanten Ukemi is similar to a Shilo Ukemi, except that you rebound and roll forward to your original stance just as your back completely touches the ground. For Yoku Ukemi, slide your right foot in front of your left foot and stretch the leg as you fall to the right. Strike the ground with your right hand as you fall to reduce the shock of impact. The same steps apply using the opposite foot and hand when falling towards the left. First, let's look at Tenkan Ho used for practicing movements of your body in Shiho Nage. There are basically two types of Tenkan and Ilimi. For these exercises, purposely let your opponent grab your wrist so that you can lead him into your sabaki or counter by forming a hand blade. Tenkan is necessary for sabaki, where you pivot behind your opponent. For Ilimi Tenkan, enter by moving your body forward. Shiho Gili is another warm-up exercise for Shiho Nage. When your opponent takes hold of both your hands, direct him towards your movement by forming hand blades with both hands and swinging them up. Complete your sabaki by making a turn and swinging your hand blades down. Stop just before throwing him. Shiho Gili Omote is performed from an I Hanmi. Do an Ilimi by stepping forward and then pivot. Shiho Gili Ula is performed from a Gyaku Hanmi. For your sabaki, pivot widely in a circular motion. The basis of Aikido is ki, or the unified action of mind and body. Ki can only be developed by practicing so-called breath power training, which enables you to concentrate and summon your inner energy. During the execution of Aikido techniques, if ki is utilized as the essence of every movement, it is called kokyu-ryoku, or breath power. No Aikido technique can be properly executed without proper breath power. We will now introduce the two different methods of practicing breath power. First, zaho, which is practiced in a seated position, and second, rippo, which is practiced standing. When your opponent grabs both of your wrists, form hand blades and swing them up in a spiral motion. During this action, concentrate on your hand blades and imagine that all your ki is accumulated and released through your fingertips. Break his balance and throw him to one side. For Rippo Omote, let your opponent grab your forearm with both hands. Do an Ilimi to your opponent's side into an Ai Hanmi position. Close your armpit as you form hand blades and swing them up high and then down on your opponent to knock him down sideways. There is also an urawaza for Rippo. From the Gyaku Hanmi position, make a wide pivot to your left, balancing on your right foot. Form hand blades and break your opponent's balance as you swing them up. Step in behind him with your left foot and then swing down the hand blades to his rear. We have now gone over some of the basic movements and techniques of Aikido. They are all important steps to be practiced and mastered before moving on to the next. All beginners must patiently repeat these basic lessons regularly